story of how Lord Brahma also got bewildered with the pastimes of Krishna. This is what Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. When he appears in human form, people thinks that he is ordinary, right? So sometimes he has to perform additional pastime to teach lesson to everybody. All right, so yesterday we saw how he taught the lesson to Lord Indra. Today is Lord Brahma. Okay. All right, Sharmila Mataji, are you ready? Can we go for Kirtan?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, do you have Kartal or I can play for you?
No, I don't have.
Okay, Mataji. So I will do the invocation prayers, right?
Okay.
Let me bring up the PowerPoint. Okay, is it clear? Can see and can hear me?
Yeah. Yes, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. So this one I will do, all right? Oh, Matnya. Sorry, Jayanti sis. Ningga. Come sis, can you read for us?
Yeah, sure. Can you hear me, right?
Yes, clear.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakya Chaksurum Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. I offer my most humble obeisances to my spiritual master who has opened my eyes which were blind by ignorance with the light of the knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you. Perfect, sis.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so I will sing this, right? Now, Sharmila Mataji, this one I sing or you want to try?
Mataji, you can sing. I'll sing.
I do. All right. Okay. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadeshatarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadeshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Avaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Okay, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Okay, I follow. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare.
Hare. I forgot how Srila Prabhu will be singing this.
Hare Krishna, Hare, like that.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Try one more time, Mataji. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Yay! Wonderful, Mataji. Fantastic. Thank you so much for trying. It was good. Okay, so thank you to Sharmila Mataji. Okay, can somebody check if the recording's on? Is it on?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, Sharmila Mataji made you co-host, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we will do this sloka later, Gita Mahatmya. Okay, so I will just read. Devaki Nandana Krishna Gita Parena Tushyati Yatana Vedhanina Yagya Tirtha Vratadibihi. The son of Devaki, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, cannot be satisfied by anyone studying the Vedas, charity, sacrifice, pilgrimage, or vows as much as he is satisfied by the devotional recitation of the Gita. So today I want to go to UK. Remember this building? Who was it donated by? Who donated the building to the ISKCON? Remember the work in Krishna conscious one, when somebody cannot directly be involved in devotional service, they can provide contribution in Lakshmi or kind, money or kind. So like that, one celebrity donated this building to the ISKCON in UK. Anybody knows this place name or the person who donated this?
One from the Beatles, but then
George Harrison.
Yes.
George Harrison.
Yes, correct. The Beatles, George Harrison. George. Okay. Yes, initially it was just an estate existing since 1200s, very old, very ancient. All right, and this built before this there was a building. It was built in 16th century. All right, and then in 1884 it was demolished, and this, all right, this was erected. Came in contact with the deities. So he was just, yeah, Bhaktivedanta Manor. So initially it was a different name. It's until looking for a buyer and and given to not for personal use. Given are Radha Nanda.
Mataji, hello. Mataji, I think the line is a bit bad.
Okay, yeah, here. Right, I'm sharing again. Alright. Did I come here already when you all lost me?
No, I'm still in the house.
They're still at the house, huh?
House.
Alright, so this is the building now. Okay, so they have deity. The deities are Radha Gokulananda, and they have Sri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman. Okay, and this is how they look in the altar for the spiritual teachers. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya. Oh yeah, my internet connection is unstable again. Okay, yeah, looks like my line also not so good, right? Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vikna Vinasha Narsimha Iti Namine. Namaste Nama Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Veda Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesh Adi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so the program is dedicated to His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So we move to the same Gita Mahatmya which every day. Vaishnavi Mataji.
देवकी नन्दन कृष्णा गीतापतेन तुष्यते यथा न वेदयधनेन यज्ञतीर्थविदादिभिः. The son of Devaki, the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, cannot be satisfied by anyone's study of the Vedas, charity, sacrifice, pilgrimage, or vows as much as he is satisfied by the devotional recitation of the Gita.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Okay, all right. So just alert me if you're losing me. All right. So yesterday, remember we talked about the 24 elements. All right. So the last element was in the unmanifested form, pradhana. And then Krishna spoke about the differences between soul, super soul, the knower, and the enjoyer. All right. So now Krishna is going to expand on the prakriti, on the nature. All right. So the synopsis of this chapter is this: that all embodied souls are under the control of the three modes or qualities. Modes or qualities, same guna, three gunas. Material nature. What is material nature? The nature is what we are living in. The material, it's material. Why? It's temporary, so it's spiritual. So the opposite of material is spiritual. Right? So we are in this material creation. So this entire thing around is material nature. So how this we are acting and how this material nature, how our actions interacting with the material nature, it is dictated by three modes, right? Goodness, passion, and ignorance. So what Krishna is going to teach us in this chapter? He's going to explain what are these modes. Basically, these are the modes, all right? And how they act upon us, all right? How the interaction actually taking place, all right? And are we forever going to be under them, influenced by them, all right, succumb to them, or can we transcend them? So if we transcend them, what are the symptoms? It's like when you have some healthy body, isn't it? So what are the symptoms of a healthy body? You can work well, you can think well, you have clarity, you can focus. So these are all symptoms of a healthy body. So similarly, how when someone transcends these three modes, what are the symptoms? So that's what Krishna is going to explain. So you can see here there are two men here. All right, they're working, right? They're working, but they are being pulled. Their legs and hands are being pulled through using the strings by these three girls here. So these are the three modes: goodness, passion, ignorance. Right, three colors, like three primary colors, right? So there's never a time where one person will exhibit fully goodness, another person fully passion, another person fully ignorance. It's always a mixture of these three modes. Okay, so the other picture, like this is Earth, right? Basically, this is the material creation, and we are here. So we are dancing according to the three modes. All right, this is energy of Krishna also, the inferior energy. So we want to transcend that to go to Krishna's superior energy. Okay, so let's just show you an overview. So this is what Krishna is going to explain to us. So first we will learn how the modes condition us. Condition means what is that characteristic of the mode that actually keeping us in that certain characteristic, certain behavior. What are these conditions? Okay, and next, this one we will cover in your verse 1 to 8. And then what are the how the modes actually bind the pure soul? What are the symptoms? And then what are the results? I'm slowing down because I'm getting the pop-up message that my connection is unstable. All right, and then what happens if we act in modes and we die in that modes? So what will happen? What is our destination? So that one we will see here. And then finally, this last part here, Krishna will explain how to transcend that and what is the symptom of a person who has achieved that transcendental state. Okay, what are these modes? How they act upon us? How one transcends them? The symptoms of one who attained the transcendental state. So three modes, all right? Goodness, passion, ignorance. So whenever I say I use the word transcend means going beyond the goodness, passion, ignorance. So generally people will think goodness is the ultimate, is the best, is good, is good. But there is another state which is transcendental because you are still subjected to certain conditioning, certain results, certain temporary destination under these three modes. So this is why Krishna wants us to transcend these three modes. So we go to 14.1. Amuda Mataji.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Chapter 14, text 1. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Param Bhuya Prabhakshyami Jnananam Jnanam Uttamam Yajnatva Munaya Sarve Param Siddham Ido Gadam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, again I shall declare to you this supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all the sages have attained the supreme perfection. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Perfect, Mataji. Okay. So
Thank
now Krishna is declaring. Yeah, welcome, Mataji. All right, he's declaring. He's going to give Arjuna the best knowledge, best of all knowledge. Okay, so actually this section, right, Krishna is going to give knowledge where he is the source of everything. So we have nature and then we have Krishna. So we will see how the nature and Krishna comes together to create us. All right, so basically this section from 14.1 to 14.4, how the modes are conditioning us, and then about the liberation. Okay, so what are we going to learn from here is this. When we understand how these three modes condition us, we will endeavor to take up the path of self-realization. All right, when we see how these things are binding us, it will encourages us to advance here. All right, understanding the conditioning of the three modes is a powerful tool to assist on the path of self-realization. This is the application. All right, Krishna says this is the best of all knowledge. Krishna already spoke about Rajavidya. Rajavidya means king of knowledge. And then he went on to transcendental knowledge. So when Krishna says that this is best, it means this is the best of knowledge in relation to the modes of material nature. So this is why he meant what he meant by best of knowledge. All right, so it is like I mentioned here, it is important for us to understand that modes of natures are affecting us. All right, sometimes we don't know why we are behaving such way, you know, right? Like something is forcing us, we don't want to, because these modes are very strong, right? It has very strong effects on us. So often the person is not aware how he is influenced by the material energies. All right, so after this, you will know if something is happening, you will know, okay, this mode is overtaking me, this mode is overtaking me, let me transcend that. So you always tell yourself, transcend that. Okay, so Krishna is going to continue with his knowledge. 14.4. You are there, Mataji? Okay. Can't hear you, Mataji. Are you speaking? You're unmuted. Maybe you. Okay. I can hear you now. Try speaking, Mataji.
Mataji, can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes, now can.
Okay. Sarva yonishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavantiya tasam brahma mahadyonir aham bija pradapita. It will be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Right, so you can see here, this verse is explaining how the soul comes into the material world, how the entire creation happened, and how we are placed within the these modes of material nature, how we are placed in the mode of material nature. Aham bija pradapita. Bija means seed. All right, pradapita. Pita means father. So nowhere else the Lord has said, or in any scriptures, that I am the Father. I am the seed-giving Father. So who is the source of all living entities? The source is Krishna. All right. Many people think that the Mother Nature is the source. We come from the Mother Nature. No, Mother Nature is mother. So the creation takes place, you need a mother and you need a father. So Mother Nature is the mother. Sorry, material nature is the mother. All right, it supplies the living entity with the body according to our modes and our reactions and everything. All right, so that one actually was in 14 point, which we did not cover. All right, then comes to point 4, where Krishna says everything. Now but I am the seed-giving father. All right, material nature is the mother, whereas Krishna is the seed-giving father. Okay, so this is a very famous, all right. So it shows that we are all brothers and sisters because we are ultimately coming from one father, from same father. Nature is our mother. Okay, so this is actually true for all species of life. So this is a point where we can say that we should have proper respect for all form of life, not only for human, for all form of life. Everybody is brother and sister. Okay, so this is a point also to understand that life does not come from material nature. Remember, we studied yesterday that everything takes place because the combination of the body and the spirit soul and the interaction with the material nature. So accordingly, we get certain body, right? Certain birth in species. Okay, so a woman can't give birth to a child on her own. Material nature cannot provide us on her own. So there has to be a seed-giving father. Okay, so we take particular body based on past deeds, and then the material nature is that body. Then there is seed-giving father. Father is Krishna, mother is material nature. Okay, clear? It's a very, very important verse. So you try to remember, if you don't remember this or number or the Sanskrit, so you have to remember that Krishna said, I am the seed-giving father. And everything is made possible by birth in this material nature because of me. Okay? 14.5, look at the three colors. This is what I mentioned earlier. Jai Kishan Prabhu.
Okay, Hare Krishna, chapter 40, text 5. Sattvam rajastama iti guna prachi sambhavam nibananti mahabaho dehi dehinam avvayam.
Material nature consists of three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. When the eternal living entity comes in contact with nature, O mighty armed Arjuna, he becomes conditioned by these modes.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Okay, so you can see Krishna is telling what are the modes. What is material nature is made of. It's made of three modes: goodness, ignorance. Okay. Sattvam, goodness. Sometimes you call sattvic. All right. Rajas or rajasic is passion. Tamas or tamasic is ignorance. Okay. So Krishna is going to explain how these modes bind us. All right. So what we're going to learn is this now. How these modes bind the pure soul. Okay. We are actually pure. Satchit Ananda. Right. When we come into contact with the material nature and the three modes, right, we interact in such a way with the matter, and that way we become the conditioned souls. Okay, how we will see, one by one we will see conditioned souls. All right, that means we have some shortcomings. What it will result in various experiences and emotions. Sometimes you feel happy, you're distressed. All right, so these are the various experiences and emotions. So the three modes of nature bind the conditioned souls to matter by habituating to various experiences and emotions. Okay, so this image actually helps us to understand more of modes of material nature. See, there are three primary colors. Let's start with yellow, sattva, and then rajas, red, and then there's blue, tamas. So combination of these three colors in different ways, we can make many colors. Okay, same is true for the different entities in the material world. There are many different combo of modes of material nature. Like I mentioned earlier, not all living entities do only one mode. Nobody can fully manifest only goodness characters. Sometimes it's mix of ignorance. All right. So for example, when you wake up early in the morning, the mode is more of sattvic. And then when it advances towards the noon, and the mode will become, all right, everything fast, and then at night everything slows down and people goes to sleep. So that is ignorance. All right, so that is why this prayer is done in early morning, Brahma Muhurta. Okay, all right, so there are different combination and then you get different shade of color. Okay, so all different living entities are influenced by these modes. It can be the water they drink. Have you seen that experiment? People do some chanting to the water and then the molecule in the water becomes like crystal kind of form, and then they curse the water, and then if you look under the microscope the molecule is different. I don't know how to exactly say. Any science students here? Have you all seen that? Yeah, something like that. All right, so everything is influenced by these modes, water, the sound vibration. All right, so that's why the Maha Mantra is a spiritual vibration. You can't chant any mantras and it may not give the same potent that Maha Mantra is giving. Okay, and also the mantra should come from bona fide sampradaya, from a qualified guru, and through certain purification process. Okay, what else? Our clothes, our food, of course, food. That is why we want to cook. Even though it's vegetarian food, we want to offer to the Lord, because even food is all plants, also living entities, isn't it? So we have to offer it to Krishna, because somehow we have to eat. So when we offer it to Krishna, it is sanctified. And also the consciousness of the person who's cooking the food is very crucial. All right, so you don't want to eat that food being cooked by people with improper consciousness. So I can tell you one story, very fast story. It's like this one rich man, he sent his Brahmin, vegetarian, he sent his son overseas, and he had to send a cook with him to cook for him because he's vegetarian. So this guy, this cook, was doing his duty. He's cooking for the son is studying. But after some time, the boy started to have suicidal feeling. All right, then he started calling the dad, I'm getting this, but I don't have any problem. So the father also was thinking, if he doesn't have any obvious problem, then why is he getting that the suicidal feeling? And then they investigate what are the activity that he do, and what he consumes. And then they got to know that before he sent the cook over with the son to the foreign, they got to know that the cook recently lost his daughter who committed suicide. So can you see how his consciousness was thinking about that actually transferred to the, and it was consumed by the son, and he's got that thought. So that's why it's important. That's why we all usually like what our mother cooks so much of love. All right, so we have to be careful of who's cooking that we are eating. All right. Okay, so it's good to cook with good consciousness. So usually, actually, generally is encouraged. You put on some Krishna Kirtan or lectures. Like fully, I listen to bhajan only when sometimes it's Kirtan, but mostly it's lectures. So it's like that, all right? Because your mind is absorbing Krishna, and that goes to the food. So try to do that also, all right? Okay, so what else? So, and then not everybody, as I was saying, everybody will realize that they are under the control of these modes. It's very difficult for animals to feel this, because like the soul, when it's put into pig's body, it's happy. The pig is happy, it's pig food. He doesn't think that oh my God, I'm in the mud, it's so dirty. He doesn't realize it. So similarly, some of we don't realize that we are actually dancing according to the modes. Okay, so we will see how soul influence people in various ways. 14.6, Jai Shana Mataji. Oh, I think I saw one message from Mataji. Okay, she couldn't make it. All right. Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat rashakam anamayam sukha sangena badnati jnana sangena chanagha. Oh, sinless one. So now Krishna is talking about mode of goodness first. So pay attention, yeah. There's a lot of points here Krishna is talking about. The mode of goodness being purer than the others, so it's better than the passion and ignorance. It's illuminating, bright, right? And it frees one from reactions, because naturally one who is in mode of goodness would not go for abominable activities like robbery, killing, all that. They won't do that, right? So those situated in that mode become conditioned. Oh dear, even the you might think, oh, I thought goodness is the best, so we can still be conditioned under this mode of goodness. Yes, right? That's why we are here to learn about it, right? Those situated in that mode become conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge. Okay, example of people situated in this mode is like a brahmana, a learned brahmana. Okay, scientist, philosopher, I don't know who is this, or poet. Okay, so these are the effects of three modes upon the soul. So we will see one verse for one mode. Okay, one after another, this verse will explain the ways in which goodness, passion, and ignorance force a soul to experience his existence, force to feel our existence in this material nature. This is the binding force. What is the binding force here? You see here, this is the binding force, condition. All right, people in the mode of goodness, they have happiness and knowledge. Would anybody would have thought that happiness and knowledge is binding us? All right, yes, it is. All right, so you have to understand that they are not wrong, but they become attached. Gradually they become attached to the sense of happiness and the knowledge that they have. Why do you think? You can put in the chat box. Why do you a learned person can be conditioned by happiness and knowledge? All right, why? Because they will tend to think that they are superior, they are better than those in passion and ignorance. They will have this kind of tendency, right? It's very subtle, right? Sometimes it's very obvious, sometimes it's very subtle. They will think that I am such a high class person, I'm educated, therefore I don't have to be concerned about others. All right, so we want to encourage mode of goodness, however, we cannot be simply or fully contented with that. Okay, so we say that Brahmin or Brahmana is a symbol of pure goodness, and we should live a simple life. It's good, right? It's living in the mode of goodness. However, in today's world, we don't have so many Brahmanas because this Brahmanas, they are intelligent, right? You see a lot of the software engineers that go to US, they are Brahmin family based. They are not doing the prescribed duties as a Brahmana, so they go overboard and they become scientists, engineers, and things like that. All right, so they are turning into scientists. So what the scientists will do, they always try to improve the material life. All right, they're making so many arrangements, and it creates more and more bondage. Right, so many arrangements. All right, and then how about philosophers? Philosophers, they're always engaged in discussing the nature of the world. So this is activity in the mode of goodness, but this is their activity. They always do this. How about poet? They use their knowledge in using the conditions in the material world in the poems. They always quote this information. Okay, so these are the people who are to be the symbol of goodness. So what is the destination for them? Actually, there is no likelihood of liberation for them because they're very contented already. They might not want to strive further. They're happy. So it is said that Ravi Shankar, right? Ravi Shankar, it seems his last birth was the 9th life. That means he's too good already. The sitar knowledge that he has is so good. Up bhakti, he's gonna similarly like that, he's gonna come back again and again. Like we have Lydia Nadaswaram also, right? That guy can play 2 piano with 2 hands. Why? Because the impressions from their last life, they're bringing it on and on and on. All right, so they're still trapped in that cycle. Okay, so we move, this is goodness, so we move to passion. What's that? 47. Kirtana Mataji.
राजो रागात्मकं विद्धि कृष्णसङ्गसमुद्भवं तन्निबध्नाति कौन्तेय कर्मसंज्ञेन देहिनम्. The mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings. O son of Kunti, and because of this, the embodied living entity is bound to material fruitive actions.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So the effects of 3 modes upon the soul is continuing. Now we are at mode of passion. Okay, you can see this line here. It's born of unlimited desires and longings. The interaction between us and the mode of passion, under the mode of passion, is like this picture here. What does this show? The characteristic of this mode of passion is like attraction between man and woman. So this mode of passion is not only attraction between man and woman. It is like an attraction between man and woman. It is so strong because of the strong desire. Actually, it's unlimited desires. The word that was here is unlimited desires and longings. They want a lot to achieve this, achieve that, get this, get that. Very active, ambitious for sense gratification. But that the ambition is not for higher purpose, to achieve material achievements. All right, material milestones. So the word passion is very popular today. If you notice, in what sense people think that passion is God, passion is exciting, passion is pleasing, drive with passion. The car, this is the car for your passion, like that, right? So everything, the world now is feeding us with lots of passionate things. Okay, but now we will learn from Bhagavad Gita how this mode of passion can lead to more suffering, darkness, or miseries. Okay, so the results of action under the modes of passion always end in distress. Okay, this is the wisdom of Bhagavad Gita. This is the teaching of Bhagavad Gita. All right, so the happiness in the mode of passion is like this. The nature is like this. It has nectarian beginning. Later, it will change to poison. So one has to be very careful, because from the mode passion, you are in the middle, right? You have goodness on your above, and you have ignorance on the below, right? So people who are passionate, they should try to endeavor to go up the goodness. If you're not careful, you will fall to ignorance. All right. So if we read here, there is no chance of liberation. All right. So earlier in the mode of goodness, there is no likelihood of liberation unless they consciously endeavor for it. But people in passion, it is said that there is no chance of liberation if you don't elevate yourself further to goodness. Okay, so yeah, so it born of unlimited desire and longings. I want to keep doing something great attachment, fruitive activity, intense endeavor, uncontrollable desire, hankering. So these are all the symptoms of mode of passion, actions under mode of passion. Okay, sometimes you see these some restaurants also, they have come and taste the passion, car commercial, feel the passion. So this is not very auspicious, so we have to be very cautious not to be attracted. Okay, all right, and all right, so yeah, 4.14.8, Lata Mataji. Can Mataji, is your line okay? Oh, I'm lagging. I'm just seeing this. Lata Mataji, okay, maybe your line was bad also. Okay, तमस्त्वज्ञानजं विद्धि मोहनं सर्वदेहिनां प्रमादालस्य निद्राभिस्तन्निबध्नाति Bharata. O son of Bharata, know that mode of darkness born of ignorance is the delusion of all embodied living entities. Okay, the results of this mode are indolence and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul. So this is the goodness is exact opposite of ignorance. So ignorance is exact opposite of goodness, totally opposite. If you find people under the mode of goodness, they wake up early, they acquire knowledge, these are the activities. Whereas people in the mode of ignorance, they are lazy, they sleep a lot, like this. There is no illumination in their life. Okay, it binds someone in the madness, indolence. Indolence means avoidance of activity or exertion. Basically, it's laziness, right? So it's opposite to goodness, who is always happy, knowledgeable, and not ignorant. So what is the characteristics? It's darkness, inertia, madness, illusion. These are the characteristics. Okay, so I think it's pretty straightforward, all right? And it comes from madness, indolence, and sleep. Like what? This is drug addicts, right? He's got a spoon here, his injection here. So these drug addicts, drunkards, all these excessive hangovers, robbers, murderers. So these are all ignorance, totally no knowledge. All right. So all they do is spend time drinking and, being victim of the drug abuse, and that's how they pass their life. All right. So this kind of people, where they go to lower planetary system or hellish planets or animal kingdom. Okay. So let's go through this chapter, this topic here. So we have 3 modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. What is the binding force for goodness? Can anybody remember? There's 2, right? Can anybody remember? Maybe we can do a fast one. I just want to make sure that I'm also being heard. If not, I can repeat the information here in this recap. 2 binding force under goodness. Anybody can tell me? Okay, yes, happiness. 1 more. Knowledge, very good. Okay, happiness and knowledge. Okay, this is characteristic result. Okay, sense of happiness, satisfaction, knowledge, superiority. Okay, how about in passion? What is that binding factor in passion? Any word that you can think of. The binding force in passion mode. Do you want to know? Because if you experience that, yes, unlimited desire. What else, Mataji? Very good. Going fine? You can tell me. If it's wrong, then I can explain, because in between I think I was lagging, right? Longings. Yeah, something like that, right? Attachment to fruitive activity, like I want to do this because I want to achieve this. Yeah, that one is attachment to fruitive activities. So ropes of desire and attachment. Okay, correct. Unlimited desire and longings. What about ignorance? What is the binding force? What is the symptoms? It's actually sleeping. Yes, sleeping, madness, all same. It may overlap here also. Okay, so what is the character? Are you trying to say something about this? Okay. What is the characteristic here? Who has knowledge and full activities, so therefore they won't have sinful reactions. Okay, how about characteristics in passion? Okay, me overlap, all right? Intense, unlimited desire and longings, great attachment, fruitive activities. So if you lost me earlier, so try to see this, all right, getting an idea. Okay, the symptoms under ignorance is delusional, darkness, madness, inertia, not wanting to do activities, all right? Simplicity, right? So, results. Those who are in the mode of goodness, their activities will give them piety, pious results. Okay? Those who are in passionate mode, they will end up in miseries. Remember, it in the beginning it will be nectarian, later it become poisonous. It will give you distress. It is over endeavoring, all right, and the disappointments. That is passionate. And then ignorance, foolishness. It is totally opposite of knowledge, foolishness. Okay, now we go to the interesting part here. What happens to us if we die in different modes? 1414, Mahana Mataji. Okay, Mataji cannot make it also. Okay, I'm just going to go into the translation. Yeah, these are the death in different modes. So you have goodness, passion, and ignorance. So listen carefully. Yeah. When one dies in the mode of goodness, he attains to pure higher planets of the great sages. So generally what you have to think is, when you die in mode of goodness, you will go to higher stage, higher planet system. So I will tell you what are the circumstances. When one dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activities. So he will take birth again among people who have like mind. All right, so so now you can start thinking, what could be the circumstance a person could die in the passionate mode? So this one I will give you, this one you give me, okay? See whether you can really get that idea or not. And then when one dies in the mode of ignorance, he takes birth in the animal kingdom. I think this one also you all can give me already. Okay, so start thinking, yeah, I will explain. All right, so this is the acting and dying within the modes. All right, so there are two things that can determine what is our next destination: our action, and then our results after our death, where we are going. All right, so these two things is predominated by specific mode of nature, and this is how the result is gotten. All right, so when you die in this mode, you attain higher planets, great sages, you attain deva planets, all this. All right, so passionate is those who die in what kind of activity do you think? They will be born again with those, among those engaged in fruity activities. Can somebody give me some example? What you can think of? What is an example of somebody dying in the mode of passion? Anybody want to try? Let's try. Because I already given the symptoms or characteristics of passionate activity, right? Very good. You know what? This is the answer I got in my level 1 class as well. Yes, racing. Anything else? Have we seen people die while working? We've been seeing that, right? People die on the table working. And then how about people who play stock, suddenly crash and then heart attack? So that is also passionate because they were over endeavoring. All right, so racing, yes. And losing money in the stock market, heart attack, while busy working, while gambling, all right, shoot each other, all right. So that's one. Heart attack when they lose, yeah. So these are the things.
Gambling considered passion. That is
Yes,
it.
yes, Mataji, yes, gambling, because these are the over endeavoring for more money, for material gain. Okay, yeah, and then finally, ignorance. Give me example how one can die in this mode. All this we are learning so that we don't want to die in this mode. Okay, so we have to be careful. Every line we can take lesson from here. How about mode of ignorance?
Beggars?
Beggars. Okay, they don't work, right? Okay, what else? That means you are dying in that state. What kind of state you can die? And it will be called dying in mode of ignorance.
While fighting people.
Okay, that could be, yes, that could be one. Or remember what are the examples I gave earlier? The three modes, how it conditioned, what was the picture that I showed?
Drug addict.
Yeah, how a drug addict dies due to alcohol or drug abuse. These are abuse, right? What I'm saying is alcohol abuse and drug abuse, right? Alcohol and drug by itself, this is not bad, right? But when you abuse it, and that yeah, why we get AIDS, Mataji? It's also innocent, you know. Like it what else? They are so understand, yeah. Any other questions? Lagging, Hare Krishna. Is it okay now? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Sickness. Okay, I tell you. Okay, dying in the mode of goodness. How are we going to manage this? How we want to ensure that we're going to die in the mode of goodness? Okay, so when we die or when we see somebody is dying, what can we do? Can anybody tell me? What can we do for them? Yes. Okay, so while praying, sorry?
Chant mantra.
Chant, yes, correct, yes. We chant for either we chant for ourselves if we can, or we have people around us to chant for us. All right, and then how certain people can die at the auspicious time or in a meditative mode, surrounded by saintly people or devotees, or dying in holy places. These are all dying in mode of goodness. All right, so where do these people go? Krishna say very nicely, they go to they attend higher planets like Brahmaloka, Tapaloka. Okay, the topmost planet is Satyaloka, which is Brahmaloka, or attain the planets where the sages dwell. Okay, so what the result they're going to get by dying in the mode of goodness? They get piety, purity, happiness, knowledge. Okay, and then passion. Yeah, we already covered this one, and we already covered ignorance as well. So okay, that's about it. Any questions at this moment? Okay, this one you will go to higher planets. Passion, you will get human births. All right, among those engaged in fruity activities again, and then ignorance, animal kingdom. Okay, let's move on. Okay, actually your next sloka is 14.26, but I want to connect this. So Arjuna asked a question to Krishna. Oh my Lord, by which symptom is one known who is transcendental to these three modes? What is his behavior and how does he transcend the modes of nature? So now we are entering this section here. We are entering the topic where Krishna is going to explain how a person can transcend. So Arjuna will ask three questions. He will ask these three questions. What are the symptoms of one who has transcended? Like, remember I told you when you say you're happy, how do you express that you're happy? Okay, I'm satisfied, I can focus, I have peace. So these are all the symptoms when you identify yourself with being happy, right? Contented. So Arjuna is asking, what is the symptom of those who transcend the modes? How will he behave? And how actually does he transcend the mode of nature? So these two questions you have to read 14.22 to 14.25. These are the answers to the first two questions, symptoms and behavior. Please read. All right. So we will cover 14.26. Meera Mataji.
Mam chayo vyabhichareena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samitityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. The one who changes in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, and one transcends the modes of material nature, and thus comes to the level of Brahman.
Okay, so I got a question here. Dying in the mode of accident. So this is actually it's a very sad state to live because you never know what was on your mind. So regardless of the place and circumstance, whether it's in a where you die and what is the circumstance you die. So the basic, this was the question I posed to my spiritual master. So how do we exactly know? Then he said the circumstance and the place is one thing, but the most important thing is your consciousness when you die. All right, even devotees also, they die in accidents. So that doesn't mean they are dying in the mode of passion. All right, they were not racing. I can't say that, because throughout their life the mind has been engaged in Krishna consciousness, so it will be helpful, it will be instrumental in determining their next life. All right, so it's really difficult to say unless we know the consciousness of the person at the time of death. All right, so some people, they can leave their body in holy places, but how do we know what is their consciousness that they have? They probably are there like sightseeing, tourism. They may not appreciate that holy place. All right, so it's different when somebody who lives in these holy places and they were totally absorbed in the Lord. So this difference. So basically it's the consciousness. So can you see how it's important for us to influence our consciousness? So it's very difficult for you to answer an exam when we do not prepare ourselves. So these are general guides. So Krishna has given a blanket solution, so we want to utilize that, right? So if you're always chanting the Maha Mantra, even when you touch wood, right, even one dies in accident, it will be helpful to have a good consciousness. There's one time we used to have mentors and counselors, and she said one time, she actually had a story that one devotee, her friend, right, people narrated what happened during the accident spot. So this Prabhu was on the bike and he got hit by a lorry, and he terpelanting, he flew across the road, and throughout the flying thing, the process, he actually shouted Krishna, like that he shouted, and he dropped and died. So you can tell where he would go to. All right, so the important is the consciousness. So it's not easy to think of Krishna at the time of death. We will have a lot of things at our time of death. So we want to be very careful to train our mind. All right, yeah, so it's good question, Mataji. Thank you so much for asking. All right, so okay, so here one who engages. Okay, my connection is stable, unstable. All right, okay, so Krishna is clearly giving an answer here. By pure devotional service, one can transcend and achieve Brahman liberation. Okay, so here Krishna replies Arjuna's question. Arjuna wants to know how to transcend the modes of nature. So Krishna told him to engage in full devotional service. How? Don't fall down, don't give up. That means unfailing in all circumstances, all the time, fully engaged. Then you will overcome the material nature. You will come to the level of Brahman. So Brahman means the energy of Krishna. Brahman means energy of Krishna. It's a one aspect of Krishna. It's called Brahman realization, meaning you realize God in the form of light or the pervading energy. So this is the way people perceive God. So they will think this is the goal. This is goal. However, there are two more aspects beyond Brahman. That is Paramatma in each and every of us, and then Bhagavan in the spiritual sky, spiritual world. All right. So that is the perfection of religion. So this is the story of a person, how he was a hunter before, but by taking up devotional service, he became totally a changed person. So you can see here Narada Muni coming with Angira Muni. He's coming here and this person is sweeping the road because he saw ants here on the road. And then he was sweeping. So, but before this, the flashback is he was a hunter. So Narada Muni came and told him, oh, you cannot be doing like this. You know what this hunter will do? He will, he had a very, very weird taste that when he hunt something, a hunter, an animal, he will not kill the animal completely. He will leave the animal halfway and he will go on. So Narada Muni came and told him, this is very sinful, you shouldn't do this, and you need to stop hunting. So the hunter will say, later on the hunter will say, after some conversation, he will say, if I don't hunt, then how am I going to sustain myself? Okay, how will I maintain myself if I don't hunt? I don't know any other way. This is my job. All right. Okay, somehow Narada Muni convinced him to become a devotee. All right. And then this person advanced and he started sitting down in front of a tulsi tree and started chanting the holy name. So when he becomes a learned person, when he starts imparting knowledge to people, because he is becoming an advanced devotee, so villagers started coming. The villagers started coming, and because they want to inquire from him, they also bring him some food stuff. They bring food, grains, fruits, like that. So you can see how engaging in devotion service can transform somebody. 360 degrees change, people say. All right, from hunter to devotee. Right, goodness is good. Goodness is best among the three modes, but we still need to come out of it, because all these three modes got conditionings. You saw that, right? So this is bondage. We need to transcend that. Having known this, one who is engaged in full devotion service will go to the level of Brahman. This is the understanding. This is the way to perceive God realization in one. Okay, so I don't have time for this video. Actually, this is the Murgari's video. Okay. Okay, so this is 14.27. Naveen Prabhu. Prabhu's not here. It's okay, people. Okay, so here, now you see, Krishna is already said, the good realization, a person who is engaged in devotion service, they will come to the level of Brahman. But now Krishna is saying that he is the basis of the impersonal Brahman. People think that from Brahman Krishna comes, isn't it? So now Krishna is saying, I am the basis of impersonal Brahman. Brahman comes from me. I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness. So Brahman platform is where people go to escape from these miseries of material life. So when they attain the Brahman platform, they feel happy. There is no miseries there. All right. So this is why people look at Brahman as the ultimate goal. All right. But one who has learned Bhagavad Gita, you will know that beyond the Brahman, you will know the Brahma is the effulgence that's coming from Krishna's body. If there is a light, there is a source, and the source is Krishna. And Krishna, besides being present in the material, in the entire creation as a Brahman, he is also in our as Paramatma. So you have Brahman realization and you have Paramatma realization, which is in everybody's heart, or super soul. And then these two are actually coming from the Bhagavan concept, right? The Bhagavan, the Krishna as Bhagavan, Supreme Bhagavan. Okay. So what is the characteristic of this platform? It's immortal, imperishable, and eternal. So you can see some light here. Okay. So this is like the rays coming out from sun, moon. Okay. So let's see this. You all can recognize this place, right? This is a universe. This is one universe. It will look like an egg. So sometimes I use the term egg, sometimes I use the term universe. Okay, so this is one universe coming out from Mahavishnu's body. Another name for Mahavishnu's body here is Garbhotaka Sai Vishnu. So in each of this egg, it is filled with water. All right, so the Lord is sitting, reclining here. And then from his navel comes the lotus. Okay, this one I've told you many times already, right? So now you know already, Pandai, right? So Brahma comes here. And then you can see this like a ring here, right? This is the 14 planetary system. So let's go to this one, right? This one I just want to show you. This one egg here, and then you can see a few other eggs. So many here. So this is a better graphic here. You can see here, The lowest one is Patala, and then as you go up is Rasatala, Mahatala, Talatala, Sutala, Vitala, Atala. These are all lower planetary systems. So you have 7 lower planetary systems here. We are here in the middle. Do you remember, you all familiar with the mantra Bur Bhuva Swaha? So Bur means Burloka, Bhuloka, Earth planet. We are in the middle. Okay, so this is like when we come out from parking in the lift and then you see the signboard, right? You are here. So there's a tag here. You are here. We are here in the Earth planet. Okay, so above us is the Bhuvar Loka. Bur, Bhuva, Swaha. Swaha means Swarga Loka. Okay, can follow, huh? Bhuva, Bur Loka, Earth planet. We are in the middle. Bhuvar means, Bhuvar is where the Rakshasas and ghosts reside. And then above that is Swargaloka or Indraloka. These are all heavenly planets. Okay, this is also the realm of 33 million angels and demons. Yeah. Yes, it's a mind-blowing, actually, it's my favorite. And then above the heavenly planets, you will have the Mahaloka, Janaloka. It's a Saptarishis planet. Tapaloka, who goes there? Those who bertapa, they go here. And then the topmost planet is Satyaloka or Brahma Loka. Remember, there was Brahma Bhuvana Loka. That is Brahma Loka. Okay, so that's that. So we zoom out. If you zoom out, you will see the universe is here. This is the entire Karana ocean, and inside that Karana ocean is all these eggs, little universes. And then the white color here, the rays, this is Brahmajyoti, this is Brahman. Okay, coming all the way from Krishna. This light is coming out from there. Okay, let's see this one. This is Brahmajyoti. See, it's clearer here. Okay, this is Kailash. Kailash is above material world, and below the Aishwarya Dham. Aishwarya Dham is where Lord Ram, Lord Vishnu, Lord Narayan, Vaikuntha Loka, Ayodhya Dham. Yeah, they are here. So you can see the light. This is the Brahman Jyoti. So we don't want to stop here. We want to go further to interact with the driver of the train. Remember, I always tell the train example. So yeah, we are done with our space tour. So we come back to our recap. So what we saw in chapter 13, we learned that how the living entity, the Purusha, is entangled in the with the Prakriti, all right, due to his desire for enjoyment. All right, in chapter 40, Krishna explains how this material energy exactly binds us. So this is where you learn the conditioning, the symptoms, all right. Okay, so Krishna reveals the best of knowledge by which great sages have attained supreme destination. So sometimes Krishna gives evidences like this. So with this knowledge, this great learned person, people have attained perfection. Okay, so I mentioned this, material nature is the mother and Krishna is the seed-giving father. Very important, all right? Okay, and he never say that I am from another father. He never say that. That's important. Okay, and then what we learn, the conditioning, right? Different bodies and different activities under the different modes is the cause of varieties of happiness and distress. So if you're feeling very troubled, you have to find out, why am I feeling like this? Okay, one of the modes is overpowering me. So you want to transcend that. Right? So these effects are the binding force of each mode upon us, upon the conditioned soul. Sometimes we are in goodness, sometimes passion, ignorance. So what happens? Here, acting and dying within the modes. In goodness, one attain the planets of sages. The results of this is because of their result of pious actions. And in passion, they be born among those who engage in fruitive activities. So the result is miseries. One dies in the mode of ignorance, they be born in animal kingdom because of foolishness, opposite of knowledge. So how to transcend the modes is by pure devotional service, right? One can transcend and achieve Brahman. And I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman. That's how Krishna concludes this. Okay. So last one already. In the practice of Krishna consciousness, the devotee engages all the gates. We have 9 gates, right? The whole body to reach the state of pure goodness. For example, the devotees use the eyes and ears to read and hear the scriptures. So this is how we engage our senses. The nostrils to smell flowers offered to the Lord. So you offer, when you offer flower, now you all are offering already, right? So when you offer, you take flower and you smell. That is also prasad. And the mouth to taste food offered to the Lord and to chant the mantra. So there are 2 ways we can engage our mouth. All our 24 elements can be engaged like this. Okay, so can we chant 3 times? Can everybody unmute and chant together? Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Haribo. Krishna. Yes, Mataji, it's a true story. So, one Mataji says she got goosebumps when I said the person died by saying Krishna. So we also want to die like I want to die like that. That's our prayer, right? If we can't chant, also we want somebody to chant for us. That's why these are the jokes, devotee jokes. I will tell my friend, whatever it is, you come, chant for me before I die when I'm dying. So we are not scared of dying, but we are scared of dying without the association of devotees, because we know what lies ahead. We never know how our consciousness is. So with the help of devotees around us, when they're reading Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, or when they're chanting for us when we are dying, it's gonna be very helpful for us. All right, we also want to do that for others. Okay, so stay online. I will send the quiz